Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another video. So, today's Wednesday, November 19th. What does that mean? Same way we got our last Dragonity support card for Terminal World 3 revealed on last Wednesday, the new Shaddolls card for the same set should be revealed today as well. And it was. So before I talk about the new card, I kind of want to summarize the new support that we got for Shaddolls and what does this mean for the archetype. Usually the last card that is revealed is one of those cards that actually is a game changer for the deck or just gives something to the deck that it was missing after the new support got revealed. Lev-Shaddoll Fusion gave us the ability to fuse with wind monsters into a decent Shaddolls monster that actually boosts the consistency and enables more combo plays. Lev-Shaddoll Mechafrel is another consistency monster. It's basically a linchpin in the deck that enables you to just tutor out Shaddolls cards, basically a toolbox option. And being unaffected by your opponent's cards makes it so it cannot be hand trapped or it cannot be disrupted as easily, which is also really good. They gave us a new way to fusion summon, like for our Shaddolls monsters. It is kind of costly because it does involve hard locked into the extra deck for Shaddolls, but it's still a really good card for its intended purpose in the archetype. And we got a pseudo consistency card in Void Deviation, which indirectly also serves as a support card for Infernoids. They're very clever with the design of this card. Now, what are we missing for Shaddolls? I've been seeing a lot of people commenting, like saying stuff that we were missing, stuff that made it so the deck was lacking certain things. One thing that people brought up was we didn't have a good enough boss monster in the archetype. Winda is a really good boss monster. So is Construct. Like Apkalon just hard negating a card and being indestructible by battle. This being able to negate inherent summons from the extra deck. Anoitilis is a really annoying floodgate monster. Like, if you look at the top decks right now, this card stops GWC 06, it stops Jummy Surprise, and it stops Mitsurugi Prayers from resolving properly. Those are three meta-relevant cards that are being played right now. In the future, like talking Burst Protocol, this card also stops like other enablers like the Exo Sister traps. Like I think this card should be relevant for the foreseeable future. So I think when it comes to the extra deck department, we don't need that many like strong monsters. Chekinaga is another Shaddolls boss monster you can summon as well. Like Shaddolls is not a deck that's meant to be summoning like indestructible or like unbeatable boards. Like the goal of Shaddolls is just to annoy your opponent with your fusions and putting them on a very tough position on what to do in the given situation of what fusion monster you're summoning. Like, to this day, Winda is still a very problematic monster for like meta relevant decks. The other thing I saw that people were commenting on is Shaddolls don't have one card starters. Well, fun fact, we actually do have one card starters now. This is something that is probably very easy to overlook in the archetype. But yeah, what if I tell you told you that Mathematician and Armageddon Knight are now 2 1-card combos for the Shaddolls strategy. I guess we're gonna have to show you, right? So Mathematician, we're going to use Mathematician for this example. Armageddon Knight also works. Mathematician was played back in Shaddoll form, like in older Shaddoll decks, just because of its ability of like floating to a monster, just sending Shaddoll cards. This also could be linked away for like Artemis, the Magistus, which is a light attribute monster. So yeah, we're going to bring back Mathematician. And with Mathematician, we're going to send Squamata. And Squamata, upon being touched to a graveyard, can send another Shaddoll. We're going to send Egorista. Now, we're going to use Egorista's effect. And with Egorista, if we read Egoristas, it reads that you can banish monsters from your hand, field, or graveyard as fusion materials to fusion summon 1 Shaddoll monsters. You are locked into the Shaddoll extra deck if you do this, but again, it's just another way to start our plays. So we're going to use Egorista's effect. Egorista is going to banish both monsters and the Mathematician. And we're going to summon the Meshafrel. Meshafrel requires an Earth monster, a Dark monster, and a Shaddoll monster. Egorista is our Shaddoll monster, Squamata is our Dark monster, and Mathematician is our Earth monster. Armageddon Knight also works because Egorista is the Earth attribute monster of choice. So now that we summon Meshafrel, you can use Meshafrel's effect, and with Meshafrel, you can just add like all of these Shaddoll cards. And take note, this cannot be Impermed, this cannot be Ash Blossomed, this cannot be Veilered, this cannot be Impermed. Like, you know, all those monsters are lower than level 10. This can get Nibiru'd, because Nibiru'd is level 11. But again, like, 1-card combo with either Mathematician or with Armageddon Knight. So, yeah, we do have 1-card starters. Not the best 1-card starters, but we do have them. Another thing that people were bringing up is we don't have good ways to break boards with Engine. I don't know what you're talking about. Shaddoll Fusion is a really strong board breaker. If you haven't seen it, I did make a Draco Tail deck profile that I topped the OTS championship with, and it did play Shaddoll Fusion, so feel free to check that out. I did talk about the importance of Shaddoll Fusion in that deck. So, yeah, I think we have almost everything for Shaddolls. Now, let's look at the last card and see what this card does for us. The last new card is called Lev-Shaddoll Fusion. So, Lev-Shaddoll Fusion is a continuous fusion spell. And this card reads, when this card is activated, send 1 fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. You can tribute 1 fusion monster. Special summon 1 Shaddoll Fusion monster with a different attribute from your extra deck. This is treated as a fusion summon. And if you do, change its attack to 0. You can only use each effect once per turn. You cannot special summon from the extra deck if you activate either this effect except for Shaddoll monsters. Okay, so this card's incredible. So remember when we were talking about 1-card starters? Lev-Shaddoll Fusion is another 1-card starter, and this card is better than Mathematician and Armageddon Knight. The hard lock into Shaddolls is a very fair lock. If this card did not have this restriction, trust me when I say this card probably would have been abused in any fusion deck. Both effects are really good. Like the effect to send a fusion monster from the to a graveyard. This is really cool because you can send Garura You can send Entis. You can send Albion. You can send any of the Shaddolls. Like, this card does a lot. Like, now, what is the best application for Lev-Shaddoll Fusion? Before we talk about the best application, let's talk about other stuff that you can, other engines you can play with this, because this does hard lock you into Shaddolls. Dogmatica is one of them. Dogmatica was already known for sending monsters from the extra to the graveyard, so this is just a natural fit for Shaddolls alongside Lev-Shaddoll Fusion. Obviously, you have to activate Nadir Servant after Lev-Shaddoll Fusion because this one does lock you out of the extra deck. Mitsurugi is another archetype that you can play with this. And I know a lot of people are tired of seeing Mitsurugi everywhere, but I think it's worth mentioning them because they do share the Dark Attribute, which you can use for Meshafrel and Winda. And not only that, this is an engine that does not occupy the extra deck. So it also is workable with Lev-Shaddoll Fusion. Draco Tails can also work, and you're probably thinking, well, doesn't this conflict with our Thalion summon? Well, you can just grab 5 mana with Lucius and just fuse on your opponent's turn into your Draco Tails. Or you can use 5 mana and use 5 mana to summon either Apkalone or Winda. So yeah, we do have options. Blazing Cartesia, I think, is going to be a staple in the Shaddoll deck. Blazing Cartesia can make Construct, which is already good enough. So those are engines that you can play in this deck. So yeah, now let us show you a 1-card combo with Lev-Shaddoll Fusion. So we're going to use Lev-Shaddoll Fusion. Can you guess what we're sending with Lev-Shaddoll Fusion? I think it's kind of obvious, but I'll give you a few seconds so you can guess. Yeah, we're sending El Shaddoll Apkalone. We're going to use Apkalone's effect. Apkalone is going to add Squamata. We're going to discard the same Squamata. We're going to use Squamata's effect, and Squamata is going to send the Egoista. Familiar? Yeah, we're doing the same combo we're doing with Mathematician. And we're going to summon the Meshafrel. We're going to use Meshafrel's effect, and Meshafrel will summon Deviation. Well, add Deviation to hand. You can add any Shaddoll card, but Deviation is just going to be part of the combo that we're doing. Now we're going to use Lev-Shaddoll Fusion's second effect. We're going to tribute the Meshafrel, and this is going to summon El Shaddoll Construct. Reminder, this is treated as a fusion summon. So this construct, if ever comes back, it can trigger again. We're going to use Construct. Construct is going to send the Hedgehog. Hedgehog is going to add us any Shaddol. We're going to add Wendy. So since we have another Shaddol card in our hand, we can reveal it for Void Deviation. We're going to use Deviation. We're going to add Lev-Shaddoll Fusion. We're going to add Schism, and we're going to discard the Schism. This Lev-Shaddoll Fusion can be any fusion spell. We're just using Lev-Shaddoll Fusion at this as example. El-Shaddoll Fusion is probably the best card that we can add here. We're going to use Lev-Shaddoll Fusion. We're going to fuse away Wendy and Construct. We're going to summon the Wendy Kulu. And now we're going to use Wendy's effect and Construct's effect. Construct is going to grab back the Schism. We're going to set the Shaddoll Beast. We're going to use Wendy Kulu's effect. We're going to split Shaddoll Beast. Shaddoll Beast is going to draw us 2 cards and then discard 1. This was all a 1-card combo thanks to Lev-Shaddoll Fusion. And this didn't even use our normal summon. So yeah, this is the last support card for Shaddolls. If I have to give a final consensus, I think this card is really good for the Shaddoll theme. I think giving hard locks to cards like this is very healthy for the game. I really do think that if you're going to give an archetype really strong support when the archetype was already looking very promising to begin with, then you should give them harsh locks on them just to prevent them being very splashable in other decks. Alright, so that's it from me. What is the future of Shaddolls moving forward? I actually do think this is promising support. As to what build of Shaddoll would be mostly well played, Shaddolls in the past have been played with Dogmatica, so I am thinking Dogmatica is going to be a very strong option. You can also play with Draco Tails. You can also play with Branded. Reminder: just because this card hard locks you doesn't mean you're not inclined to play Shaddolls as a hybrid. So yeah, feel free to experiment. I will be doing a bit of experimenting myself. But until then, keep practicing and keep dueling.